Okay, this is a fifth grade passage, a storytelling trees. And by the title and the photo here and the caption, the tinkling totem pole, I can tell that this is an informational passage. So as I read, I will try to summarize it in my head, find important parts and information, the most important information about it. Cedar trees grow in the Alaskan forest. A clean-tit Indian walks among them searching for the right one. He finds a strong, straight tree. And they're going to ask me for this word. So I'm going to underline the sentence. So it's a strong, straight tree that has been growing long before his grandfather's grandfather lived there. He marks its rough bark. This is the first step in making a magnificent storytelling tree. So it's a tree that tells a story. Long ago, before writing was used by Indians, totem poles were carved to tell stories of battles or to record events happening in the tribe. So that was the reason, is to tell stories. Shapes of bears, wolves, whales, eagles, and other wild creatures were carved into soft tree trunks. And if you see the photo, it's there next to this paragraph so I can visualize all of these. Okay? How these were carved into the tree trunks. The tree was read from top to bottom by a storyteller. The stories often included animals with superhuman powers and stories about the eagle and raven clans. These totem poles were read again and again like a library of wooden stories, like we read books nowadays. So paragraph 3 is talking about what the storytelling trees have. 4. Have you seen pictures of totem poles or visited the state of Alaska or Washington where poles stand? Even today, they still exist. Totem pole carving continues. It's something that is done nowadays in Alaska where Tlingit Indians still live. Once a stone adze, an axe-like tool, brought down an 80-foot giant. Today, chainsaw do the work. So this is comparing. Compare and contrast. Before they used an axe. Now they use a chainsaw. Number 6. Thick bark is stripped away. The knots, once burned with hot rocks, are sanded smooth. At last, the tree is ready. These are like the steps. At last, the tree is ready for the master carver chosen by the tribe. Poles that once took a year to carve can be completed in 3 months. So now it's faster. It's still compare and contrast. The carver chants to help his concentration and to keep a cutting rhythm. It is a chant he learned from his father, who learned it from his. Wood chips peppered the air. Animals with beaver tails, whales, wolves, and birds with oversized beaks are chiseled into the soft wood. Some carvings have human shapes. So this is describing what the shapes are. 8. Black paint dabbed into pale wooden eyes gives them a look of power. Long ago, artists mixed salmon eggs with minerals like hematite, graphite, and copper to make bright color paints. So this one is talking about the colors. 9. At last, the weary carver puts down his tools. What is the meaning of weary? They're going to ask me. The weary carver puts down his tools. That means that he's done. He's ready for a crane to lift the new pole. He thinks back. Okay, crane. Do you know what a crane is? He thinks back and remembers stories of his grandfather's first bow racing. That one took place at the river's edge. No crane was used then, just dozens of men holding tightly to ropes. This is compare and contrast. Before, men would do the job. Now, they use a crane. Their groans rippled like a chorus of bears. Sweat beaded on their brown backs. Drums and voices swelled like thunder when the pole rose. Okay, so this is one is talking about the rising of the pole. Okay, 10. The old carver blinks away the memories as a ray of sun touches his sensitive eyes. The steel arm crane is placing his new pole upright facing the road. Like in here, look in here in the photo. Look at this is a person. Can you see how tall this is? The steel arm crane is placing his new pole upright facing the road. Arriving visitors look up in awe. Cheers and laughter roll forth like water from a bubbling pot. That was what was once a mighty cedar growing tall in the Alaskan forest is now a magnificent totem pole. People stand among a group of totem poles. Okay, why did they place this photo here? So I can see how tall the pole is. Okay, 11. Think about the stories told by your parents and grandparents. If you put those stories on a totem pole, what would your storytelling tree look like? This is an interesting question. Okay, let's go to the questions. Which sentence from the selection shows that totem poles were important? Oops, I need my marker. And I use green. Important to tell a story. Okay? Which one of these is telling me that is important? They are important to tell a story. A. These totem poles were read again and again like a library. Read and again like a library. This could be it because they are telling a story and they're read again and again. Let's see letter B. At last the tree is ready for the master carver. Okay, this is not something that shows that they're important in telling a story. This is the letter B is the process, the beginning of the process of creating one. C. Animals with beaver tails, whales, wolves, and birds with oversized beaks are chiseled. This is describing what they look like. So the letter B is a process. Letter C is describing what they have, but none of those two is showing us why they are important in telling a story. D. Long ago, artists mixed salmon eggs with minerals like hematite, graphite, and copper to make bright color paints. And this one is telling me about the colors. None of those three choices is telling me about how they are important to tell a story, to talk about a history, except letter A, because they are read again and again, like a history book. Number 10. Read the dictionary entry below. Strong, adjective. Muscular, consisting of solid material, determined, and moving rapidly or with force. We need to find out the definition for strong in paragraph 1. And what you need to do, the strategy is to copy the sentence. He finds a strong, straight tree. I'm going to write it down. So I'm going to say he finds a strong tree. It's talking about a tree. Okay? So I'm going to use a strategy, plug it in. So I'm going to plug it in. We have muscular. Is it a muscular tree? No. Solid material. Is it a solid material tree? That could be. It's a determined tree. No, because that's a character trait. Is it a moving rapidly tree? Oh my goodness, a running tree. No. The only correct choice is letter D, definition 2. Solid material. It's a strong tree. Question 11. What conclusion can the reader make about the totem poles? Okay, what do I know? They had a purpose. So I need to think about it. Before I read my choices, I need to think about it and make some notes. They had a purpose. They created those to teach history. So it has to do something with those two ideas. Let's see. Specialized carving machines are required to make totem poles. No, it was just a carver, one person, so no. Even before and nowadays. The carvers selected to make totem poles must be good singers? No, this is totally wrong. The meanings of the figures carved on the totem poles have changed? No, what have changed is the way they rise a pole and the way they cut it, because they used to use an axe, now they use a chain, and they used to be risen by men and now they use a crane. That's the only difference. Everything is the same. The process of carving totem poles has changed over time. Okay, the process is all of it, from the cutting of the tree to the rising of the pole. So yes, it has changed over time because of what I just wrote down. So if I think about it, the meanings of the figures have not changed. The carvers do not have to be good singers, and there are no need for specialized carving machines. What the machines are used now for is for rising the pole and for cutting the pole. So my best choice is this one right here. And if you want to go back to the passage, you're going to find this information in paragraph 5, once this one right here. Paragraph 5, once a stone axe brought down a native of giant, today chainsaws do the work in less time. So yeah. So it has changed. Question 12. The author uses questions in paragraph 4 and paragraph 11 as a way to. Let's read the questions. Paragraph 4. Have you seen pictures of totem poles or visited the state of Alaska? And 11 is right here. The question is, what would your storytelling tree look like? Right here at the end. So what do I know about writers when they ask questions to the reader? They want you to be engaged. They want your attention. So let me choose the best. But remember, before you read your choices, you need to think about it. Think of an answer, of a possible answer. You can write a note. So let's see. Show the American Indian art is similar to other types of art? No, because the questions are, what would your storytelling tree would look like? And the other question was, have you ever seen one? Those are the questions, has nothing to do with that. Establish a connection between the reader's experiences. Okay, yes, he wants to know if I have seen one, and he wants to know what will my storytelling tree will look like. So this is a possible answer. H, encourage the reader to reflect on what is considered art. They're not talking about that at all. So I already found my two choices that are totally wrong. J, help the reader understand why totem poles attract visitors. You might think this is a correct one, but actually this is a distractor, because between these two, the questions have a purpose. And the questions are, what would your storytelling tree would look like? What will it look like? And have you ever seen one? So it's not about trying for you to think about why they would attract visitors. It's asking you to make a connection and engage you and call your attention to the passage. Engage you in the passage. So the writer wants you to think about your own experiences so you can connect. Okay? Connect to the passage. That's my best choice. 13. The author organizes paragraph 9 in a compare and contrast pattern to illustrate. Let's see what paragraph 9 said. My paragraph 9 is right here. There you go. At last, the weary carver. Oh, and I did write compare and contrast over there. I wrote it down. I'm going to use my green. It's right here. At last, the weary carver puts down his tool. He's ready for a crane. Oh, they're comparing how they are used, how they were recent and nowadays how they do it. They are comparing the rising of the pole, right? Yeah, it used to be done by men. Now it's a crane. Okay, that's why we write notes and underline and circle important keywords, so we don't have to reread the whole thing again. Just remember what we read. So let's see, 13. Illustrate. What are they illustrating? The rising, and I did write it down, the rising of the pole. Let's see which one has that idea. A, how the images carved into totem poles have changed over time. We have already said the images have not changed. The process has, not the images. That was totally wrong. B, which carvers in the tribe were the most talented? Again, they did not need to be good singers. C, the way that modern machinery, like a crane, has made the rising a totem pole easier. Yes, that could be it. How the totem pole has changed during the carving process. Again, the carving process has not changed. My best choice is this one right here. Question 14. The language the author uses in paragraph 10 emphasizes. I need to go back to my story. I need to reread paragraph 10 because this is not a memory test. It's a reading test and a thinking test. So let's see. The old carver blinks away the memories. It's like, oh, it's a very romantic language. He blinks away the memories as a ray of sun touches his sensitive eyes. The steel arm crane is placing his new pole upright, facing the road. Arriving visitors look up in awe. Cheers and laughter roll forth like water from a bubbling pot. This is for you to have an image. Okay? What was once a mighty cedar growing tall in the Alaskan forest is now a magnificent totem pole. It's like the process of the rising pole and how people are in awe. That's what I understand, so I can read my question now. So what is it emphasizing? The emotional responses people have toward the totem poles. Yes, because they are in awe and cheers and laughter. Yes, those are emotional responses. Let's see letter G. That the new totem poles are more important than the ones in the past? No. It's not saying that. H. How quickly the new totem pole was raised using the crane. Again, you may think this could be, yes, it is quicker, but paragraph 10 is not describing that. Again, it is saying, oh, the visitors look up in awe, cheers and laughter. Okay, so it's not about how quickly it is nowadays. J, that the types of trees used to make the totem poles affect their beauty. Actually, no, because they are using the same kind. So this one is not okay. Letter G is not okay. Okay, I'm going to cross those out. And you have how quickly the totem pole was raised. No. And the emotional responses people have. Yes, this is my correct answer because there is cheer and laughter. The people are cheering and looking in awe, and that is an emotional response. Cheer, laughter, and they look in awe. 15. Paragraph 9. The word wary means, let's look at the sentence. The wary carver puts down his tools. I'm going to write it down. Let me use my color. The wary carver, the person who's carving it, puts down his tools. So he's done. Can you imagine carving all those figures in that tree, like it's like super big tree? Would you consider it to be an easy task or something that is hard? How would you feel at the end of that job? Put yourself on those shoes. Let's think. Plug it in. What is the strategy? Plug it in. Here we go. The amused carver. The amused carver puts. Is he amused? Like he's having fun? No, I don't think so. He's not amused. No. He's confused. Why would he be confused? He's done his job. Is he worried? Oh, why? What happened? No. Is he tired? Yeah, he's tired. That tired, that tired carver puts down his tools. Now I know that's a correct answer. And the two last questions, I'm sorry. Read this sentence from paragraph 4. Even today, totem pole carving continues in Ketchikan, Alaska, where Tlingit Indians still live. So it's the key word here is even today. So it's something that has been going on for many years. Many years. And the process is pretty much the same, although it has changed for the at the beginning and the end, but it's just they're still carving those figures. In this sentence, what does the author help the reader understand about the culture? Culture. Okay, think about a tradition from your own culture. What traditions do you have? What traditions do you have with your family? What can you tell about those traditions? Let's see. Their master carvers are highly skilled. Yes, they are skilled, but is it talking about the culture? Their carvers use special tools to make each totem pole. They do, but that has nothing to do with understanding the culture, especially from this sentence where it says that it has been going on for many years. Their history is told through images on the totem poles. Yes, they have maintained their tradition of making totem poles. Okay, this is a clue word for me. Tradition. Tradition, what traditions do you have? Your traditions are part of your culture. And your culture is something that happens from generation to generation. It's transmitted from one generation to the next. For example, celebrating Christmas or singing happy birthday. That's part of the tradition. It's part of the culture, and it has been going on for many years. It's passed on from generation to generation. So even though I thought letter H was correct, their history is told through images on the totem poles, my sentence is not telling me about the images. My sentence is telling me that it's something that is going on nowadays. It's part of their culture. So they have maintained their tradition. It's still going on nowadays. Check the words, the clue words that I underlined. Okay? And the last question. Which sentence from the selection is best supported by the photographs? I need to see my photographs. Both. So right here, what can I see? Photographs are supposed to be also read, and you need to think about it. I have this man right there, a big totem pole, and I think they are showing me that photo so I can understand how I can have a perspective of how tall they are. That's from that photo. And this photo right here is for me to understand or have a visual of the shapes they have. So I have shapes and I have how tall. Now I can read my question again and think about the answer. Which sentence from the selection is best supported by the photographs? Both photographs, okay? Shapes of bears, wolves, whales, eagles, and other wild creatures were carved. Is showing that? Yes, they are showing that. Once a stone axe brought down. Okay, it's not a photo but an axe. It's not an axe. Thick bark is stripped away. It's not about how they take away the bark of the tree. No, no, no. Drums and voices swell like thunder when the pole. It's not about the rising of the pole. So my best choice is this one right here. So I can have a visual of what kind of animals were carved in those totem poles. As you can see, I can see them right here. I can see them right here. Oh, they look like owls. And I can see them right here. Can you see? Look at that. So that's what the photographs are showing me. So my best answer is shapes of bears, wolves, whales, eagles, and other wild creatures were carved into the soft tree trunks.